So thank you everyone for coming to another community expert exchange. We've done 5 or 6 of these already. We have another one next week. We'll get into that in a minute. But we have Danny Wilson. He's the solution consultant two here at ZoomInfo. He's done one of these before on Copilot. So we're doing a little bit different. It's more on account-based marketing. It's a deep dive in maximizing your ROI with ZoomInfo. So I'm going to put this link directly into the chat. If you haven't joined our modern go-to-market Slack community, join that. The reason is because I would like for you to ask questions during the session on the 07ZI product help. So if you join that community, it's Slack, if you can get into Slack. If not, feel free to ask questions specifically on this particular chat. I like to capture those and let others see some of these questions that are going on. So we are recording this in slides, and the recording will be sent probably tomorrow. I can edit it and all those things beforehand and send a direct email out to everybody that attended and that actually RSVP'd for the session. So I think I put that in the chat. Yep. So if you could do that, make sure it's to everybody. It is. And next slide. Today we do have our maximizing ROI with ZoomInfo on the ABM deep dive. That's today. And then next week, we have a few of our PMs, which is really hard to do to get 3 of those things. So it's going to be really exciting. It's called AI-driven alignment for smarter go-to-market sales strategy or market strategies, bridging sales and marketing with ZoomInfo. And so we have a webinar then. It's on Wednesday, not Thursday. So really going to be good. Can't wait. I'll actually push that into the chat so that you can RSVP here shortly. So I think that's all I have. Devin, we'll go ahead and get started. Go ahead.
Sure. Thank you, Chris. Hi, team. Nice to meet you all. Quick disclaimer, if at all you catch me yawning, that's because it's 9:30 in India and not that I'm having a boring conversation. That being said, I would be able to help you with your ZoomInfo's marketing platform today, how we would be able to use that for our ABM strategies and how the sales and marketing teams can utilize our platform. So basically, we are built over 2 teams, right? ZoomInfo marketing, ZoomInfo sales under the same data. So our underlying asset is ZoomInfo's data itself. And when I say it's ZoomInfo's data, all the contact information and the emails, firmographics, technographics is our underlying asset. On top of which, ZoomInfo sales is built up for a sales lookup solution and ZoomInfo marketing for ABM. So what we would be doing from here is, in today's conversation, we would be identifying what are the potential value pillars or the values that you would be getting out of an ABM tool from ZoomInfo. So we would help you understand how your campaign performance is, how you can engage and send out your campaign with efficiency. We also assist you or help you in reducing that wasted ad spend of yours. So we don't want you to have a spray and pray method. We are going to help you be more precise and target with more precision. That being said, these are the contact information or the firmographics that we'll have in our ZoomInfo marketing platform as well, which we will then be utilizing or using for filtering to identify the audience that we should be activating in the form of a campaign. So what we are going to do is target with pinpoint precision. And how are we going to do that? The main crux of the platform is building audiences. There are multiple ways of building audiences. It could be through business signals. It could be through firmographics. It could be through scoring mechanism, form fills on your website, or combining different conditions. So once we build the audiences within ZoomInfo's platform, we would then be able to activate these audiences by pushing them to multiple channels. And that is what would help us strike them at the perfect time when they are actually in market. So this would help you reach out to the right buyers, the right accounts at the right time. So that's how we are going to engage with the account-based marketing platform. So these are some of the challenges that we are trying to solve today, or that ZoomInfo marketing platform would be helping you solve. First thing, are we able to measure the ROI of the campaign that we are running. And then we will also be looking at the separate intent sources. How can we understand our intent, utilize our ZoomInfo's intent, website signals, also identify who is on your website, and then have a more specific or a niche audience that you would like to create, and use that audience to then push to our DSP or social channels. So when I say social channels and the multi-channel engagement for campaigns, I would tell you it would be within Facebook or the Meta. Then we'll be able to push them on LinkedIn, also on Google Ads for retargeting, and then we have our own DSP. So these are the different channels that we'll be able to activate the audiences into and display ads to them. To speak about our DSP, we partner with Google AdX, Trade Desk, SovereignX, etc. These are the trade platforms. These are the AdX platforms that we partner with. So we will be able to reach them out and try to identify your decision makers whenever they are on websites like Forbes, Newsweek, Bloomberg, etc. from the hundreds and thousands of websites that we have, so that you will be able to display ads right in front of them. And we will also help you in today's session on how to boost our website conversion. Along with, if you're having multiple fields on your website, we will help you reduce that field. We have a form acceleration tool that would be assisting you with that. So all you need to do is reduce the number of fields, capture the information, and start targeting them to display advertisements. That being said, again, we are going to create the audiences here, push them to your Meta Business Manager or your LinkedIn Campaign Manager. From there, you would be activating the audiences. So the social channels are going to be managed on the respective platforms. And we are also going to look on how our sales and marketing team can be aligned together. If you're having disjointed sales and marketing team today, how can they speak to each other with ease? How can they request for marketing support and vice versa for the accounts that are on your priority? We will also look at how ZoomInfo marketing can also speak with ZoomInfo sales and how the teams can talk to each other. And the crux of this entire webinar, wherein we are trying to understand the ROI with our reporting capabilities to identify if a specific campaign that you're running makes sense, whether you need to pump in more money to it or not. And then we would have also seen how we are capturing our intent, wherein we are able to, in real time, identify the decision makers from companies. So we will let you know what companies are actually out there looking for a solution of like yours, or what potential problem you could solve. If they are doing the research, we will be able to, in real time, let you know those companies so that you will be the first vendor to get in front of them. And it says, studies say that 70% of the time, if you are the first vendor, most likely the deal is to close. So we have already done a session on intent. If you want a session on intent, you could revisit our webinar on intent. That would really be helpful on how we gather information, what intent is, how we use our streaming intent, which is real time intent, and how we can contextualize our intent and make it to your use. So, whatever topic is niche to your business, you could create that as an intent topic and then start targeting them with an ABM camp. So, now let's look at all of this that I've spoken in action. Let's, without any further delay, jump into the platform. This is the first page that you would land into the platform, which is our dashboard. So your marketers would be greeted with a dashboard, which has a funnel, and it also shows the highlights of how your campaigns are performing. So this funnel would be consisting of a scoring mechanism, wherein it has in-market funnel, in-market score, which will tell you the scoring on how your accounts are performing in market while they are visiting your website, behaving with your campaigns, and while they are also interacting with the campaigns that you're displaying to them, and also on the intent research that they do. So top of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, that is where you will be able to identify. For example, this would be a TAM. Once they start researching about you, they would be from awareness. And when they're visiting your website, they could come to interest, filling up a form to consideration and evaluation accordingly. And then you will also be able to see what are the accounts that are moving up the funnel and down the funnel, so that you will be able to take them forward, right? From here, you can activate the audiences, create audiences, filter them based on different job titles, and target them on the different channels that we have. Quick glimpse on what are the top advertising campaigns that we are having, how your website visits, what is the most common topic or popular topic that your target accounts are researching about. And then you will also be able to see your form submission information, right? That's just the glance of it. But like I mentioned, the main crux of the platform is creating audiences. And these are the multiple ways that we'll be able to create audiences with. For those of you who are familiar with ZoomInfo's sales platform, as we have the advanced filters, you will be able to use advanced filters to create those audiences by adding SIC codes or by adding industry, revenue, what job title, etc. So these firmographic filters are available here. So you will also be able to use your advanced features like understanding what account scores you would like to add. We have two kinds of scoring mechanism. One is the in-market score that I mentioned, which is actually identifying what are the accounts that are in market looking for a solution like yours and visiting your website and also interacting with your campaigns. And then we also have an account fit score, which is a predictive model that we have. So we will look at the accounts in your CRM, maybe let's say the closed accounts in the past, look at the commonalities of those accounts, start analyzing similar accounts in market, and then start giving you a score on whether they're a great fit account, moderately fit account, or a low fit account. So these are some of the ways that we'll be able to use the scoring mechanism to then go ahead and create those audiences. And the other parts of the audiences are maybe if you have an event that you're going to, you will be able to get a list of contacts, upload them into the system, and then we can create look-alike audiences so that you can then start targeting them as well. What we could also do is identify all those who are visiting your website, create and capture those accounts who are visiting your website, use them and create audiences so that you can then target the decision makers. Intent purely on how you will be able to select topics that they're researching about and use those topics to then go ahead and create those audiences to push ads for the intent searchers or the intent users. And then Form Complete is a tool that we offer. So it's just a snippet of code that you would embed on your website. We will not be replacing your form. It's just a code snippet that you would embed on your website, would reduce the number of fields. All we need to do is enter an email address. So once you enter the email address, we will automatically be able to enrich the fields in real time with the information that ZoomInfo already has. And the reason you should be having a form complete tool is why do you require your customers or prospects visiting your website to potentially fill out the forms or give them the extra heavy work to go ahead and fill out those fields, which we already have the information about. So with the help of form complete, we would fill all the other information by just collecting input parameters such as an email ID alone, right? If ZoomInfo does not have any of these contact information like a name, phone number, email address, by default, it would automatically pop up, collect that information, and we would fill the form for you. The existing integration of the form would still exist and the flow would still be on that same direction. So that's how you will be receiving Form Complete. Form Complete also helps you in identifying form abandonments. So this will also help you identify all those who have actually initiated filling the form, who have probably entered the email address, but for some reason they have not hit submit. We will be able to receive that information with the help of Form Complete. And this information can be utilized in two manners. One, create audiences that have actually submitted a form, right? And what about the others that have not submitted a form? You will be able to go ahead and create them also as an audience to display advertisement. We need to be careful wherein, since if it's in GDPR regions, we need to be careful. And while they are entering the keystrokes and not submitting the form, we could display ads to them, but not directly reach out to them. And all the form submissions that we receive are going to be in real time checked. We would ping their server to let you know if it's a valid email or not. if you're not available, if you're not aware of that particular email, we would let you know that the email server did not bounce, but we are not really sure if it's a valid email or not. So these are the insights that Form Complete could then help you. From here, create audiences to these leads and then start targeting them on multiple channels. And then what we would do is combine these games together, right? Identify all those who have researched about your competitor, looking at solution like yours, and have also visited your website. That is how you will be creating combined audiences. And then you can also go ahead and create suppression lists like out of these. So let's take intent as an example when I'm creating an audience today. So I am creating intent related filters. And for the sake of demo, I would like to go ahead and search for, let's take channel sales as an example. So I'm using these 3 topics from channel sales. So this would show me channel management, sales channels, and channel management software as 3 topics that we are trying to identify. So these are the companies that are actually right now in market conducting research on these topics, who are potentially the accounts from which you can then go ahead and use firmographic filters, like identifying if you want to exclude the accounts that are currently in your CRM or not. You can also supplement this data with our integration with G2. So if you have G2 buyer intent, you can also supplement that information into the system, which would also let you know that these are the accounts that are spiking on ZoomInfo's intent as well as our G2's intent. ZoomInfo sales platform also offers you intent, but one of the differences between those 2 intents or the offerings are ZoomInfo sales offers you intent, but the ZoomInfo marketing intent is by default custom and real time, right? So once you create the audiences, these are the accounts that you should potentially be reaching out to. And out of these 9,000 odd accounts, just taking small examples, you will then be filtering the job titles that you would like to target. And these job titles can be then selected based on the job personas. For the sake of the demo, I'm going for director and above, right? And you can also deep dive into specific departments if you want that you would like to jump into. And also, if you're using tech stack like Marketo, you'll then be able to use the lead sources or Marketo lead lists for filtering purposes. And once you create or apply these filters, you will then be able to identify the leads that you would like to reach out to. So you can use further filtering to reduce the number, and then you can create the audiences so that you will be able to activate these audiences and give a name to that specific audience. These are the different ways that you'll be able to build audiences. Same process on how you would do it with websites. Identify those who visited your website, go to the lead section, target them or narrow them down based on the job titles, and then you will be using them over here for targeting them and creating that audience list. Once the audience list is created, you can then export these audiences in the form of a CSV or manually push them to an external source like a CRM, Salesforce, or HubSpot, Zoho, or you can also push it to a marketing automation tool like Marketo or Pardot. That's one way of doing it so that you can then activate them. And if you require or if you choose, you will be able to shoot email marketing campaigns to them. Or you could also push them to our ZoomInfo's advertising platform, to our DSP, to Meta, to LinkedIn as well. And we have Google Ads for retargeting. So if at all you choose to push them to LinkedIn, what we would be able to do is once you create the campaign and click for LinkedIn, the audiences that we are creating is going to be created and automatically pushed to LinkedIn. You can choose how you would like to export the audiences. If it's a brand awareness kind that you're trying to show your ads to as many people you can on the accounts, or show your ads to the people who are most likely to take an action. Again, we are just pushing the audiences from here and they are pushed into LinkedIn. From LinkedIn, you would be activating them into a campaign. What are the advantages of using audiences within this platform over directly using it on LinkedIn? With the help of our ZoomInfo's platform, we'll be able to tell you who's in market looking for a solution. Those advanced firmographic signals that we have, right? And our data collection. We collect information from email signatures, right? Versus whatever is posted on LinkedIn. For example, I could lie on LinkedIn that I am the CEO of ZoomInfo versus I would not lie on my email signature that I'm a solution consultant. So this data is then created within the help of ZoomInfo and then pushed to LinkedIn so that we are able to match that contact information on LinkedIn and then try to display ads right in front of them. And our match rate is from uh, 80 to 90% of what we are able to match on LinkedIn. Same is the case with Meta. We will be able to create audiences, push them to Meta. When we push these audiences to Meta, right, we will still be able to create and push the audiences. And from Meta Business Manager, that is where you will be activating the ads. So you will create an ad account, integrate your ad account with us, and you can also create an exclusion list, exclude these accounts that you would like to target on Meta. So these are a couple of ways that we'll be able to do it on social channels. What about pushing them to a DSP? So when you push them to a DSP, you will create the audiences that you would like to push to a DSP, give it a name, select the ad sets that you would like to display. Once you select the ad sets, you can give your budget allocation, right? And you can schedule from what date range to what date range you would like to have this campaign run. Once you're done with the schedule, we will be able to allocate the budget that you have. And using the budget, we would give you a campaign forecast, trying to calculate and let you know this is the audience size that you will be able to reach out to, the number of days for the campaign, what are the approximate amount of accounts that you will be able to reach, what is the spend that you're looking to put, and the number of impressions and clicks that you might be able to get. We are just providing you the insights in terms of forecasting. And then we can let you know about the conversion tracking, from which ad did they come to a specific landing page of yours, filling a form on your website, etc. And then we can also get on geo targeting. Which location would you like to target? United States, India, Canada, Indonesia, other countries. And then we also have a CPM. So ZoomInfo does not charge any money from the campaign budget that you put into the system. We have a minimum of $4 CPM, which we believe is what we would require for creating those impressions for you so that we can bid in the right manner and get your ad displayed in front of the decision makers, which would also help you cap the number of times you would like to, or the number of impressions that you would like to give to an account, or sorry, to a device, and what devices would you like to target or display these ads to. And once we are done with all that, your campaign is up and running. So these are the different ways that we saw how you would be activating your campaign, creating audiences based on scoring, based on intent, websites, or combining them, and then pushing them to an external platform like Meta or LinkedIn, just the audiences, or using our DSP to display ads and get in front of the right decision makers.
Hey, Danny,
Yeah.
a quick question. So Karen asks, we have a niche product. Can you customize intent subjects? And is there an extra cost to do that?
With the help of ZoomInfo Marketing, by default from the base package, you would get 25 intent topics, which is custom by default. So we would work with you. We would understand what are the intent topics that you want. You give us topics niche to your business, give us a description so that we will go out on the internet, look at the historic baseline, try to understand what are the traffic that we are able to derive to that specific topic. Are we getting enough number of hits? Once we get those hits, we'll tell you, our custom intent team will give you a viability report saying these topics are viable, these topics are not getting a lot of hit. Why don't you try changing the keywords or topics? We would consult with you and then we could create those intent topics. So it's customizable 100%.
Thanks, Eddie. Karen, I hope that
Sure.
helps. So we have another question. Are we able to customize intent topics within Sales OS as well?
Yes, you can create custom intent topics on sales on platform because sales platform also has streaming intent and also has custom intent. But what you will have to keep in mind is the number of intent topics, right? Because again, if you're tying back to the ROI, which the conversation is about today, creating those custom intent topics is, if I'm not wrong, it's charged based on the number of custom intent topics that they're creating. And that cost versus the platform cost that you'll have with ZoomInfo marketing is something that you should keep in mind and try evaluating it.
All right.
So
Thank
the
you.
answer is, yeah, perfect. So these are some of the ways that we'll be able to activate the campaigns on multiple sources or multiple platforms and channels. Post which, once the campaign is up and running, what we would need to understand is how these campaigns are performing, right? So we have something called as a campaign dashboard, which will show you what are the campaigns that are running. This will give you a small level of information on what was the amount that was spent, what does your click-through rate look like, etc. But if you want to get into more details, our campaign dashboard can show you what are the accounts that were targeted, what is the journey of that account. Out of the audiences that you created, you were able to reach 1K of them, right? And they dropped, out of which 32K of them engaged with the campaign, and then 13 of them were converted into sales qualified leads, out of which 8 of them were closed won. Post which you will be able to see how the campaign, each and every campaign was spent. So you can select a specific campaign to see if that campaign is working or not and what are the results of those campaigns. Or you can look at all the campaigns together to then come up with a decision whether to spend more money on it or not. So this is one way wherein you will be able to come up with the decision on how your campaigns are performing. Apart from this, we have advanced reporting, wherein with the help of reports, you will be able to identify how your campaigns are performing, what are the different publishers on which your ads were displayed, etc. Just taking an example here, wherein this was a DSP campaign that we had run. So this was on our display channel. So on ZoomInfo's DSP, 25 grand was spent on the campaign. We were able to reach 38,000 plus accounts that were targeted, and 1,372 accounts we were able to reach, influenced 901 accounts and 5 million impressions. What does it mean? On a specific date range, what was the dollar amount that we spent? What were the number of accounts that we were targeting and the number of accounts that we reached, and what were influenced? That is, they were coming to the desired landing page that you had. If you want to dive deep and see what are those accounts, that information is always available for us within the platform itself. These were the accounts that were actually interacting with our campaigns. You can see if they have clicked through, what is the click-through rate, cost per click, etc. And what are the different publishers in which our ads were displayed, and what did it actually cost you? And we can also tell you what are the different ad creatives that were displayed on those specific websites, so that using those websites, you will be able to understand that, okay, these are the ad sets that were performing well. These are the ad sets that could potentially be changed. So we are providing you that information with the help of a ZoomInfo's marketing platform as well. Once we are done with these kind of reporting, what we can also let you know is we have something called as a unified funnel, which lets you know what are the accounts, right? The accounts that are without any open sales opportunities, because we'll be connecting to your CRM, right? From your Salesforce or HubSpot. From Salesforce, we'll be able to let you know that these are the accounts that are currently with open sales opportunities, but marketing accounts with open sales opportunities. These are the accounts that are having both marketing is targeting them as well as they're having sales opportunities. These are the accounts with open opportunities, but no marketing engagement. Your marketing teams are not targeting them. And when we come to this prioritization heat map, this gives you the information on identifying what are the accounts that are actually in market, and using that score, if it's a high account fit score, these accounts are similar to the ones that you have closed in the past, but are currently not in market looking for a solution like yours. What kind of a campaign would you like to display to them? What kind of a strategy would you like to take against them versus high in market score? They are not similar to the ones like you have closed in the past, but are looking at solutions like yours, all the custom intent topics that you have created, maybe your competitor names, product names, solution names, etc., and visiting your website and interacting with the ad campaigns that you're running, but are not anywhere related to the ones that you've closed in the past. What kind of a strategy would you like to run with them? And then we have a couple of accounts that are similar to the ones that you have closed in the past and are also in market. So these are the hot ones that you should potentially be reaching out to and prioritizing over the other accounts that you would like to reach out. So that's also one way wherein you can identify why you should be potentially reaching out to an account. And all of these audiences that you create can be automated with the help of a workflow. So again, workflows are unified. You will be able to create those audiences. That's the only crux that we have with ZoomInfo marketing, creating the audiences. And the workflow similar to that we have on ZoomInfo, wherein you can identify the decision makers, you choose those audiences, export them to an external platform, sales engagement tool, get notified on Slack, etc. These are some of the ways that we'll be able to utilize an ABM strategy. Some of the ways that you will be able to identify who are the individuals who are actually reacting to your campaign or are being influenced by a campaign. Right now, we saw an account based marketing. Display ads, know the accounts, send it to the potential decision makers. But with the help of our new feature on Copilot and our ZoomInfo's marketing platform, what we could do is target a set of individuals, display ads to them with the help of ZoomInfo marketing. If they click on the ad, that specific individual who clicks on the ad would be redirected to a particular landing page on your website. With the help of our latest Copilot feature, which helps you identify or de-anonymize the individual with the help of our website visitor ID, because of the display ad that you ran, you would have started seeing more traffic on your website. And if that person is in a part of your buying group and also a part of your target account and is from US, you can then conclude that, for example, Carla J. Thomas has visited the high ranking pages on your website, which would be the desired landing page that you would have selected. This is a manner where you can get your sales and marketing teams aligned together. One of the ways wherein you display ads, get them to a desired landing page. With the help of Copilot's de-anonymization, you will be able to tell that this is the person or this is the individual that has actually visited a particular page on your website. Apart from that, we also have something called as air cover, wherein your sales and marketing teams are going to be aligned together. So when we have air cover, your sales teams that are currently trying to reach out to a particular customer might have something like an account that they need to prioritize. They need marketing support. They need to warm up that particular account with brand awareness so that then the sales team can start reaching out to them. That is when you would request for air cover. All you have to do is request for air cover, and this particular account would be passed to the marketing team so that then they can start targeting those accounts within the system. In this manner, you can warm them up with your ads or vice versa. If they need marketing support while the sales are reaching out or while they're marketing, the marketers are passing that information to the sales based on their engagement, and the sales can start reaching out to them as well. And the sellers are also notified with the help of Copilot on what specific marketing campaign is this particular account being targeted and what is the messaging of that particular ABM campaign that we are running. So with this context, our sellers and our marketers are unified so that they can work together. And we have a unified tagging mechanism wherein sellers can tag from the ZoomInfo sales platform. Marketers can use those tags to then filter using the marketing platform. So these are some of the ways that we will be able to use our ZoomInfo's marketing ABM platform to display ads on multiple sources, on multiple channels like socials and our own DSP. So that's all from my side, team. I'm open for questions.
So there is one question, and I feel like maybe this particular question is a little bit more focused in on an internal team from a strategy standpoint, but maybe you have some thoughts here is how can we measure ROI in dollars? Do you have any thoughts around that?
Got it. Again, when you mentioned about the internal team and the strategy, right?
Yeah.
One of the main ways that we would utilize this is how do we look at a closed won opportunity, right? With the help of a campaign dashboard. What were the accounts that you were able to close because of running a campaign, right? And if you have that specific account, we have something called as deal story, which will tell you how much it actually costed for you to go and win that specific account. What was the effort that you had to put in to go ahead and get that account as a closed won opportunity? This is where a deal story would help you and let you know in terms of dollars. For example, if you're looking at Amazon or Apple as an example, this is you have spent around $400 in ad spend. These are the number of impressions that you've gotten for Apple as a customer, number of clicks, number of visits. This is the dollar value that you have actually spent. What is their ACV? What is their account fit score? And what value do they provide to you? So attributions like campaign dashboards, deal stories, and a reporting mechanism can then help you identify and use that justification for how much you have spent on ads, whether the ad is working well, and then maximize your ROI by using those filtering options that we told you to get more laser focused than a spray and pray method.
That's great, man. So Karen has another question. What areas do you overlap with products like Marketo?
Marketo has a lead scoring model, which is within the system. We have our own lead scoring model. Marketo is something that we would push our audiences to for sending those email marketing campaigns. We would supplement Marketo with the right set of accounts and our information. You could use how we see it is rather than overlapping, use Marketo along with ZoomInfo's marketing platform to provide your Marketo scoring model plus our in-market scoring model, which would then go and sit in your CRM so that from there your sellers can use those insights and take up a decision on how they would like to strategize with the decision makers from that account. Does that answer your question?
I think so. She didn't say anything yet, but if it didn't, Karen, please post another question if you want to ask. Anything else? Like parting words? Any other questions from anybody else? All right. As I close this, wait, there might be a few questions here. Oh, she said, yeah, it actually helped. We do next week have another webinar. It's called AI driven alignment for smart go-to-market strategies, building sales and marketing with ZoomInfo. If you like this one, you'll really like the one next week as well. Additionally, when you leave this session, there will be a pop-up from Zoom that just gives you 3 questions about this session and other sessions that you want to see. So please just take take you like literally 30 seconds to do that. Feedback is a gift and very helpful from our community so we know what to cover in the next sessions. We hope this was helpful. And please come to, look, we have a modern go-to-market community. It's on Slack. If you can make it there, please go there. We can continue these discussions. And Danny, I do have another question real quick. Does the same go with HubSpot, like Marketo? Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Pushing them into HubSpot campaigns. That comes a part of manually exporting them or either exporting them with the help of workflow.
All right. Thank you all for coming and spending about an hour with us. Really do appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Until then, come to Modern Go-to-Market Slack community and we can have more discussions there if you'd like. Danny, thanks so much for coming. And all this stuff will be sent out tomorrow. We'll edit it, clean it up, and send a direct email to you, and then put it on our playlist on YouTube. Thank you, everyone. Take care.